PMB Rock helped kick off a whole new wave in the rap game by mixing singing and rapping with stories about his come up in the streets of Philly. He popped off back in 2014 and was trying to make a comeback this year after leaving Atlantic Records and going independent. But before he could take advantage of the new opportunity, he was tragically shot and killed over his jewelry. This is the wild story of PMB Rock. On Monday, September 12th, PMB Rock took his girlfriend to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in LA. His girl posted a picture on IG tagging a location, and at around 1:20 p.m., someone walked up to rob him. The police say the victim, along with a female witness, were in the eating area at a restaurant when they were approached by at least one suspect who brandished a firearm and demanded property from the victim. It's not clear exactly how it happened, but the other dude started letting off shots and snatched PMB's jewelry, then ran off. According to the LAPD, the shooter had a getaway car waiting for him outside, so it was obviously a planned hit instead of just a random robbery. PMB Rock had a lot of love in the industry, and when the news broke about his death, a lot of artists hopped on social media to show support. Kodak Black posted an IG story and said, "I don't usually speak on deaths, go to funerals, or none, cause life goes on, but shaking my head. PMB was my boy. I was just on the phone with him last night. We be talking about him coming back out and popping his shit again in this rap shit." Nicki Minaj collabed with Rock on the track Fendi back in 2019. After he died, she brought up how rappers and their crew have to be more careful about what they post on social media. She tweeted, "After Pop Smoke, there's no way we as rappers or our loved ones are still posting locations to our whereabouts. To show waffles and some fried chicken? He was such a pleasure to work with. Condolences to his mom and family. This makes me feel so sick. Jesus." A lot of people are blaming Rock's girl for his death. Kodak even said that might as well kill herself on his IG story, but there's no confirmation that the shooter saw his location on IG. Cardi B tweeted, "I highly doubt was looking at PMB's baby mom IG. He was in a bad location and people stay outside plotting. It's very irresponsible and inconsiderate to blame her for something so tragic. We should be sending nothing but love to her and his family at this time. It's not fair to blame his baby mama for the situation. In a city like LA, anyone could have got the drop and gave his location out. The whole thing is tragic, but it goes to show that rappers ain't safe in public." Other artists like Trippie Redd, YG, Murder Beats, and Russ also hop online and show respect. Fans were shocked by the news. Rock was always a positive dude who loved giving back to the community, even though he had a wild come up in Philly. But if someone like Nipsey wasn't even safe in LA, artists should know anything could happen. Punch from TDE tweeted, "Man, please be careful in Los Angeles, specifically artists and entertainers. Everybody is watching." And Boosie said, "Every time you in LA, keep your guns and your finger on the trigger. Be ready to shoot at all times. Keep your hand on your Glock, no safety. And shoot as soon as you see harm or anyone suspicious. They will rob and kill you. It's the rap murder capital." After he died, DJ Academics posted a clip from an interview he did with Rock just over a week ago. In the video, Rock talks about switching up how he moved after his older brother got killed. He told Ak about a time last year he thought some dudes were trying to line him up to hit a lick, but he made out of the situation because he knew how to move. Last year, Rock went on Bootleg Kev's podcast and talks about rappers rocking jewelry out in public. He said, "Tried me out here a couple times. That shit don't never work. I be too on point. I'm from the same shit y'all trying to do. I done did this shit." Rock also said, rappers should have security if they're walking around with that much drip. He told Kev, "And if you gonna do that shit, bro, be safe. Get some security. I ain't gonna sit here and say security is the end all be all or go on try you, but they'll think twice." PMB Rock grew up in Philadelphia. His dad was murdered when he was only 3 years old, so he was raised by his mom. Rock ain't have much growing up, and he spent time in and out of shelters. He hopped off the porch at a young age, and when he was 13, he got sent to juvie for a robbery and fighting in school. The time in juvie ain't keep him out of the streets though. Since his pops died early on, Rock's uncle became like a father figure to him. But when he was 15, his uncle got murdered, which pushed PMB Rock deeper into the streets. And at 19, he got hit with a 33-month sentence for drug possession and other charges. He told the Fader, "I was selling drugs. I probably robbed a few people here or there." While he was locked up, Rock saw dudes in the yard singing and entertaining everyone else, so he picked up a pen and started writing his own songs. When he got released, he hopped onto a viral trend called #TBH posts, where people on IG would respond to photos with a clip of them singing. Rock built a following on IG and started dropping tracks in 2014. He put out a couple mixtapes and was starting to pop off, but then he got hit with a 4-month sentence for violating parole. His fans started a #FreePMBRock campaign while he was behind bars, which proved he could really make it in the industry after he got out. In 2015, Rock signed with Atlantic Records and dropped his 3rd mixtape. He was already buzzing, but Rock took it to the next level when he dropped the track Selfish in 2016. It peaked at number 51 on the Billboard Hot 100 and got the attention of Rolling Stone, who put him on their 10 artists you need to know. After just a couple of years, Rock went from being homeless to one of the hottest new rappers in the game. He told Hip Hop DX in 2017, "I never would thought I'd be here right now. If you know me, you knew my situation, my story. 2 years ago, I was homeless. I just came home from 33 months from upstate prison. I ain't had shit. I ain't had no families, no friends, no nothing. I had friends, but they wasn't gonna make sure that I was in a better situation than I was in. I had this book of music that I knew was gonna take off. I started putting my videos on Instagram and shit started getting lit." After Selfish popped off, Rock kept grinding and dropped his second project with Atlantic in 2017. He picked up even more momentum by getting featured on 2 tracks off of the Fate and Furious soundtrack. Even though he wasn't in the game that long, Rock worked with a ton of artists. He had tracks with Kodak, Young Thug, XXXTentacion, Ed Sheeran, and way more. Pretty much everyone loved him, but Rock had beef too. Back in 2020, Rock hopped on his IG story to talk about the new wave of emo rap. He wrote, "All these little niggas albums and tapes be sad as f***, LOL. Like all these little motherfuckers depressed. Shaking my head. I can't listen to this shit. Make me want to go kill myself listening to these sad ass little boys. LOL. LOL. Like even when I was down to my last, down and out, I was happier than that. I went out and got it. Never was sitting around feeling sad and depressed. That's for suckers. New generation shit, I guess." Rock ain't call anyone out by name, but Rod Wave got pressed over the post. He up on his IG story and wrote, "Some of you been in Hollywood too long." Then he tagged Rock and said, "Put an address on that shit." Rod didn't get it all out. So then he posted a video and said, "Y'all niggas ain't connected to reality no more. That's why they can't make reality music. That's why they be making all that dancing, gay ass hop around, pop shaking music. Keep me out that shit, man." He followed that up by threatening Rock if he comes to Florida. He said, "You gonna have to pay 50, 60,000 every time you come to Florida. I don't care where the you at. Gonna hear about that. I'm gonna give a 10,000 on Cash App if they see you in the mall, one of those rental cars you be riding around." Rock clapped back on IG Live and said, "Rod Wave is my son. He making music like me. Singing, trapping, rapping, I did that. This generation, I did that. Put that shit in your brain and slap it in your mind, cause you my son. Anytime I say little boys, kids, if you feel like you a little boy or a kid, then hey, so be it. You a little boy, you a little kid." The beef cooled down after that. Rock told Bootleg Kev that he DM'd Rod to talk about the situation, and he thought Rod might have just been trying to start something for clout. After he left Philly, Rock never went back to prison, but he still had some issues with the police. Back in 2019, they raided his crib and found 5 pounds of weed, scales, a stolen pistol, and $33,000 in cash. When the news broke, he up on IG and said, "I don't know what the they was talking about. It wasn't me. What the I look like I'm selling drugs? Never." But last year, he pled guilty to 1 charge of receiving stolen property and 1 for possession with intent to deliver. Rock could have served time, but he got off easy with just 36 months of probation for each count, plus 100 hours of community service. In 2020, he got arrested for allegedly street racing and crashing into 3 other cars. According to the police, he was driving a white BMW and racing a Rolls-Royce Wraith. Rock ended up crashing in front of a couple cops, and the Wraith just drove away. The cops booked him on suspicion of driving under the influence and reckless driving, but he was out the next day. PMB Rock had a wild come up surrounded by crime and violence, but he turned it all around and influenced a whole wave in the rap game. Recently, he was talking about how excited he was to be an independent artist and making a comeback, but tragically, he was murdered before he had the chance. Hopefully, other artists will start being more careful about how they move. Rappers have been a huge target for dudes trying to hit an easy lick, and we've lost way too many talented artists to violence. Rest in peace to PMB Rock and every other rapper who was taken too soon.